Do you realize that the altcoins that you're holding right now have the ability to make you life-changing money in the next 6 to 12 months? And many of you are already holding the right altcoins to be able to make life-changing money. But most people in crypto will then go and make any one of these 7 key mistakes. If you make any one of these mistakes, it's going to cost you a huge amount of money. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what these 7 mistakes are and how to overcome them so that you can truly make life-changing gains in the next 6 to 12 months. So hit that like button and let's get into today's video. Now, in no particular order, we're going to rattle through these because it's so important that you know what they are, because really, guys, this is the secret sauce to making big money in crypto. But there's a problem. Many of you didn't join down here in the start of the last bull market. Instead, you joined either at the top of the last bull market or you've been joining into crypto recently. Don't worry, it means you didn't have to learn these hard mistakes yourself. I had to learn them and now I'm going to teach them to you. So in at number 1, taking profits too early. This is an incredibly important one and is very current because of the market conditions we have right now. Now, just to address all those guys in the comments who are like, oh, he's going to get you wrecked because he's telling you not to take profits. I'm not telling you not to take profits. I'm telling you that you're not in crypto to try and make 20 or 30% gains because you came here to get a 5x, to get a 10x. And if you even want to get a 5x, you can't take profits too early because you are going to leave so much money on the table. But there's one thing from stopping you from holding onto your bags and not taking profits too early, and that's because you don't know when that coin's going to stop running higher. So let me explain something quickly that many of the people who are subscribed to this channel will already know. And if you are not subscribed just yet and you want to find out more about how to actually make money in crypto, as well as find out about life-changing coins that have the ability to maybe even do up to 100x, then make sure you subscribe to the House of Crypto with notification bells turned on. Okay, moving along quickly. Many people take profits too early because they're newer to crypto and they don't understand what drives the markets. M2 money supply drives the Bitcoin price higher. Bitcoin price drives higher and higher, and eventually that money floods into the altcoins. This M2 money supply, for reasons that I'll discuss in a future video when we've got time, will top out somewhere around 2026. Bitcoin typically will top out around 130, give or take 20 days before the money supply tops out, which means that Bitcoin will top somewhere in the middle of next year. But most of you aren't even holding Bitcoin. You're all holding altcoins and you're still trying to take profits. What happened to the degens of the last bull market who held on for dear life? Because yes, in the short term, day to day, you might see some pullbacks. But imagine being the guy or girl who took some profits on Gala back here, just before this set in. And I've drawn this dotted line on this Gala chart for very good reason. What about the people who took profits on Solana way back around here and then missed out on all of this upside? How do you think they're feeling right now? And here's this dotted line, and here's the secret to holding onto your altcoins without having to have too much fear. This dotted line is telling you when Gala Games hit the top, when Solana was hitting the top, and when the entire crypto market cap hit the top. Notice that the Bitcoin dominance at that point sat at around 41%. That was after a massive sell-off in the Bitcoin dominance from 73.5% all the way down. We saw that before in the previous bull market all the way down. And you can see the trend in the Bitcoin dominance going lower, which means that we are approaching the top of the Bitcoin dominance, but we have no requirement to sell our altcoins until the Bitcoin dominance is all the way back down somewhere into this area. Okay, look, the Bitcoin dominance went all the way back down here, and then it got up to this dotted line before the altcoins even hit their top. Right now, we've not even hit the yellow bubble for this bull market. So why would you be trying to take profits on altcoins? It is ludicrous. Now, in future videos, I will tell you when I start to take profits and how to identify when to take profits in altcoins. But the only places you should be taking profits right now would be if you got into something like Peanut at like 100K and now Peanut's worth like $2 billion and you've made a bunch of money. If you make a 50 or 100x in a week on a meme coin, then you have my permission to take profits. In fact, I urge you to take profits. Number 2, overtrading. I already told you at the start of this video that many of you are already holding the right altcoins to be able to make some big gains in this bull market. I know that because I see people in my comment section, I see people in my free Telegram group, which is linked down below, go and check it out, sharing their portfolios. And 90% of them are holding a good like 75 to 90% of their portfolios in some pretty good coins that will have the ability to do 10, maybe up to 20x or more, which is pretty damn good. But unfortunately, every day they're turning on cryptobubbles.net, and instead of holding on to their coins and trusting that the coins that they've bought will eventually move towards the upside, they're taking all their money out and being like, it's about time that I go and buy some of this coin that's up over 2,000% in the last couple of days, because that one has a good chance of going higher. It doesn't. Okay, that was a joke. It's not going to go much higher anymore. Why? Because there is people at the bottom of this peanut who have literally put in $1,000 and turned it into $10 million. If you did that, would you pull your profits out? I would. If people are going to do that, there's not that many new buyers who can come in to support that, because the new buyers, unfortunately, aren't as smart as the people who bought the bottom, and the people who bought the bottom are going to start to pull their money out, and there's not enough money at the top to support it, and then it comes crashing down in a similar fashion. Then what happens? Well, because it starts to crash down very quickly in a couple of days, it goes down like 30%. And yes, maybe it finds a base and then sees some recovery. But most of you who just aped in last minute, not knowing anything about it, will sell. And then you are now 30% poorer than you were just a couple of days ago, having just held onto your coin that is still kind of in a roughly decent area. So overtrading is a problem. Okay, instead of just holding the coins and having conviction in what you hold, and maybe keeping some USDT to buy new projects that you hear about on the regular, just keeping things calm, not getting overwhelmed, making sure you've done your research, which I'll bring up later on, and you're not going to go too far wrong. Okay, if the coins that you're holding today aren't pumping, don't panic. OM mantra. Many people haven't really even been focusing on that. Yeah, it's been creeping up. It's been creeping up. And then in the last few days, everyone's like, oh, well, it's dipping towards the downside. I even heard someone say, is it the best time to get out of OM mantra right now? And I was like, why would you get out of that? It's one of the top narratives. And in a couple of days, it's just done like another 100% up move. Okay. Bull markets are completely irrational things. They will go crazy. Don't go ditching projects to try and jump into new ones and just chase those green candles all the time. Have conviction that you've done your research and you know that the coins that you're holding will eventually pump. Number 3, I've got down as FOMO, fear of missing out, which I guess is, again, not buying into this. So, for example, OM, okay, real world asset platform. I'm not suggesting you go and buy this, guys. Look at the big peak right this. I do think it's going to continue to go up, maybe after a little bit of a pullback. Who knows, okay? But it looks pretty strong. But I'm suggesting, yeah, you don't suddenly wake up tomorrow and FOMO into this. But also, fear of missing out causes many people to do many stupid things. They rush and they panic. If you rush and panic in crypto, you tend to make stupid mistakes. You might send money to the wrong wallet. You might send money on the wrong chain to something. And it's all because of FOMO. But there will always be another coin and there will always be another trade. So if you missed this one, then I would just go and buy maybe Ondo, not financial advice, just go and do your own research. Ondo, another decent coin. And that's because Ondo, again, a tier 1 real world asset platform, partnered with BlackRock, is all the way down here rather than being all the way up here. Okay. There's always another project that is actually just as good, maybe just hasn't pumped quite as early. Number 4, panic selling on dips. Just a couple of days ago, Bitcoin had this little dip from the top here. It went down around 6 or 7%. And some altcoins got hammered, like 20, 30, maybe even 50%. And it's painful. But guess what? We're still in the bull market. If you wake up one day and you're down 50%, the worst thing that you can do is to go and panic sell that particular coin. Because look, for example, this is Dog, a meme coin. It was up here on the 11th of November. Just a few days later, it's down 31%. And then just a few days later, it's back up 63%. Okay, if you panic sell these dips, you're then going to only get back into this coin after it starts to rally back up like this, and you're going to leave all of this money on the table, which means you're better off just staying in the coins that you're holding and walking away. All of these things kind of overlap, right? Overtrading, FOMO, panic selling, panic buying. It's all because you're too emotional. The number 1 rule is don't be emotional. And if you are emotional, go outside. Don't trade crypto. And before we get to number 6, which I think is the most important one, we're going to talk about number 5. Number 5 is carelessness. Being careless, being cocky, okay, in this bull market is unforgiving. Okay, being careless means not writing down things like seed phrases correctly and not storing them in safe places. Not adding things like 2-factor authentication to your different exchanges, as well as like mobile phone verification and things like that. Just the other day, I heard about someone getting scammed out of money on an exchange by having their email address hacked. Okay, so be very cautious. This money that you're making, if you've been making lots of effort to learn about it and you're going on this whole emotional journey, don't waste it by doing something really stupid that you're doing because you're in a rush or you're just being lazy. Okay, look after this money. as if it was a real pile of money on the table. Okay, often we think because it's on the screen, it's not really that important. But if I put 10 grand on the table in front of you, you wouldn't just like leave it outside your window for the day or just carelessly not look after it. So be sensible. Okay, stop being careless. Number 6, do your effing research. I don't know how many times I've got to tell people to do their research. Now, here's one of the main problems that not doing research has on you. If you haven't done your research, for example, in MEXC, a coin that I hold, when it starts to dip towards the downside, you're not going to be able to understand that this coin is going to have a killer bull run, because you won't understand that this coin is going to be the backbone of gaming and GameFi space, or at least in my opinion it is, which allows me to hold through these dips. In fact, it allows me to buy more on dips because I have such conviction in what this coin's going to do. And if you're holding coins and you don't really understand what they do or why you're holding it other than the price might be going up, then you need to go and do some research sharp. And if you can't understand why you would be holding that coin, you're probably better off selling it than you are holding onto it. And not only that, by actually doing your research, you're going to be able to make way more money because you're going to buy better projects. Now, doing research doesn't necessarily mean just watching YouTube videos. It can help, okay? I'm going to talk to you about different coins and things like that. But when I tell you to go and do your own research, because not only are you going to be more disciplined in how you hold those coins, but you're going to be able to hold much better coins than everyone else out there who's just following the crowd. Sheep don't make money. If you're lazy, I get it. I'm also incredibly lazy, but quantify it like this. If you have a job where you make like £2,000 per month, which I think is like $3,000, I think the average salary in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, is something like £2,000 per month. If you make £2,000 per month and you put in 40-hour weeks for that, 160 hours per month, and you make 2 grand, and you're in this bull market trying to make 100 grand with 30 minutes of research, you've got your wires crossed, mate. Okay, start thinking about how you can put your time and effort into something that actually will yield much better results than perhaps your 9-to-5 job does. Okay, if you can start like measuring it like this, then it's going to help you to make better decisions and to put more time in. And on to the last one, which I believe is number 7, scammers. Oh my God, the amount of things that I see online. You know, and I know, if something sounds too good to be true, it normally is. Okay, if someone is out there trying to get you to invest in something, I thought I'd drop you a message, mate, because I've found this great opportunity and I can turn your 4 grand into like 8 grand by tomorrow. You've just got to send me 4 grand and I'll sort that out for you. Does that sound like something that's real? Well, believe it or not, a lot of people tell me stories about things like this happening. Another thing, a lot of the scammers through this bull market will use the comment sections in YouTube videos. I've managed to try and clear mine up using pretty much full-time employees to do it, but I know a lot of other YouTube channels are not looking out for their comment sections. So don't go and follow links and things down in the comment sections. Another thing, as much as I wish it wasn't true, while you think I'm probably just sitting here and making a couple of YouTube videos each day and it probably takes me half an hour, I actually annoyingly have quite a lot of work to do, which means I don't have time to DM each individual person and try and get them to sign up for a link of something. Which means if someone has my face or Coin Bureau's face or Miles Deutsch's face and they're trying to send you a message to invest in something, tell them to fuck off, because it's not really them, okay? I don't want to go and privately send you a message to try and get your money. I'm not going to send you a message and check up on how your trading's going, okay? So just completely ignore those people. Don't go and send anyone your money. Only accept the links for that particular influencer from the comment sections of videos that they have. Now, guys, if you can stick to these 7 rules through this bull market, I promise you, you will make 2, maybe even 4 times more money than you would do if you started to break any of those different rules. They're all fairly straightforward. And if you're subscribed to the channel, I will help support you through this bull market to let you know when you should be maybe starting to allocate coins towards more risky assets and things like that. Right now, we are not even seeing a blow off top in the Bitcoin dominance. We're actually between phase 1 and phase 2 of the path to altcoin season, which means we've got potentially months before even starting to see small cap altcoins pump, and potentially months after that we're even going to consider taking profits. Now, the last kind of bonus one, if I may, make sure you're using the right equipment and tools to take you through this bull market, like the right crypto exchange. If you're using things like Coinbase is incredibly expensive, which means you'll lose a lot of money on fees. Not only that, Coinbase, Binance, these big exchanges will only accept big market cap coins. Therefore, if you want to buy small market cap coins, with cheap prices, then sign up for the link down below for Bitunix. Not only is Bitunix an incredibly affordable exchange, but also it doesn't require you to KYC, which is know your customer, which means you can go and trade on this without having to use any of your personal data whatsoever, which I've heard could be quite beneficial. Not only that, the majority of the coins that I talk about on this channel all the time are listed on Bitunix, so you can go and find those whenever you need. Now guys, if you got this far through the video and you enjoyed it, even if you didn't enjoy it, but you appreciate the efforts that I've gone to on a Saturday to bring this to you, then please hit this like button for me. It's just done there. If it takes you 10 seconds, that's too long. It should take you 1 second. And hopefully you've done it by now. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you on Monday in another video. Bye-bye.